shoe. Just to show that you don't never know. Watch each card you play and play it slow. Don't you let that deal go down. Don't you let that deal go down. Oh, no. I've been gambling hereabouts for 10 long solid years. And let me tell you, if you know that all that went down, it would burn on both of your ears. Goes to show that you don't ever know. Play each card and watch it slow. Don't you let that deal go down. Don't you let that deal go down. Don't you let that deal go down. No. Since you poured the tea for me, well, and you tightened up my shoe. Well, I don't wanna leave you here composing lonesome blues. Goes to show that you don't ever know. You better watch each card and baby play it slow. Don't you let that deal go down. 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 Yeah. Don't you let it be. Say, don't you let it. There we go. Don't. No, no, don't. Don't you, baby. Don't you let that deal go down. Don't you let that deal go down. Don't you let that deal go down. Oh, don't you let that deal go down. 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 Don't you let it go. Go down, down, go down.
Good morning, Coded Friend .001 listeners. How's everybody doing today? I think I got a hi off to everybody in the chat room except maybe William Foley. Glad to see you this morning. And hello, baby. Becca is with us today. First time on the broadcast. We'll bring her up in just a second. Welsh News Network. Dan is with us too. These two, this dynamic duo, seems to be an inseparable pair on YouTube. Let me bring you guys up. Just want to give you a heads up before I bring you up so you know your camera and your mic is live. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Let's bring Becca up first. Beauty before age. Hello, Becca. How are you, love?
Good morning. I am awake.
Okay, cool. That's a good place to be. Did you get coffee, maybe a donut, whatever, little bit of caffeine? There you go. I got a fresh one too myself. And Dan is with us also. How we doing, Dan?
Yeah, Lou.
So I was watching Troll Mafia Official, the old Masshole report, and Welsh News Network was mentioned. Not initially by Troll Mafia Official, but by a listener. I believe it was a super chat. And Dan, they accused you of lying. I was very disappointed to see that. And then I think the comment was repeated again by someone else a few minutes later as a super chat. So, by default, it gets read off. Not faulting anyone here. Kate was kind of a little bit quick to jump on you guys. I don't have that portion of it, but if you'll allow me to do a slight recap here, I will then give you and Becca a chance to correct me if I'm wrong about anything, because I'm working off memory here, not from video clips, and add or retract anything I say that may additional information that may be needed, or if I speak incorrectly after I've finished speaking, feel free to correct me. I believe initially the report of Chili's involvement with minor children and the possibility of the FBI being involved did not originate from Welsh News Network, but originated from Frauditor Reaper, I believe, who claimed to have spoken with the police in West Virginia, and then that the police had forwarded her to an FBI agent to speak to. So
those were two different cases.
Okay. So what were the two different cases?
As I understand it, Frauditor Reaper had initially contacted the police out of concern of Chile grifting this family.
Okay. But wasn't she the one that was forwarded to the FBI to talk to them?
She was. But that was on a separate matter.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with the children?
No.
Okay. So are you the one that originated the report that the FBI was involved in investigating Decastro's involvement with underage minor children under the age of 18, and that he may have or allegedly enticed them to come to West Virginia, thereby crossing state lines, which is not child trafficking. I don't believe it was reported that way originally. It is kidnapping when you entice an under 18 minor to cross state lines without parental permission. So
yes, we're the originators of that one.
Oh, okay, cool. So on that little part, I was incorrect. I had thought, and again, I'm working off memory here. It is late at night. I did have a full day of unexpected work today. I got called in. So I'm a little sleepy, and that's why I wanted to say what I thought was the deal, and then, of course, have Dan correct if he was involved or not involved. And Dan has just done that. Is there anything you would like to add to what I said, Dan?
Um. Nope.
Okay. Becca, is there any input you would like to add?
I do recall that the Frauditor Reaper report was he was communicating with underage people, not that he was enticing them to cross state lines.
Okay, so that's how I tied those two together. He had announced prior to that, Chili had announced in one of his broadcasts that he was talking to a dozen or so.
Children from Ironton, yes.
Correct. So that was when there were some hints of people suggesting grooming, and I think that's why, the rumor mill, the telephone game, gossip, everything gets exaggerated as it gets, passed from ear to ear. So that might be how Kate got the association of child trafficking, which I don't think you ever brought up, Dan, did you?
No, I was asked whether it could be, and I said I thought it could be, but I don't know. It could be things. I'm not an expert on the U.S. codes and practices of the FBI.
It is kidnapping, though. You can't entice or actually transport a minor across state lines without parental permission.
The only thing that tripped me up a bit is because he was actually offering them 3 times their travel costs when they got there. That would mean he was paying them, and then you start getting into whether it's actual kidnapping, whether it's soliciting a minor, or whether it's human trafficking because of the financial aspect.
Right. Gotcha. Minors and money. Never a good combination. So, I'm having a little
Hey, Dan,
difficulty
get a
with
new
it.
lighter.
I know.
I thought you were
Can't find my
clipping
other
your.
one.
I thought you were clipping your nails. Actually, what kind of lighter you got going there? It sounded like a nail clipper.
No, it's an electronic lighter, and I can neither find my gas refill or my other lighter. I'm blaming Becca. She's trying to make me quit. That's what it is.
It could be Becca's fault. I'm not.
Everything's my fault.
Well, that's why I'm not going to get involved in that one. I do want to get a future interview with Becca, maybe next week. I kind of dropped the ball. I actually could have. We had an opportunity to get together earlier tonight, but I didn't check my emails till I got home, and I was at work, so I fumbled on that one. I have to figure out why my computer won't see this. Let me put it in this folder. See if that makes things a little better for me.
After the amount of people we're going to upset later, you might not want to have us back on the show.
The more people you upset, Dan, as long as you upset them with honest remarks, the more I want you to come back. I mean, I honestly, I don't really. It doesn't bother me if people upset people or overturn apple carts.
Oh, gee, Shuggy showed up.
Shuggy! Is Shuggy in my... I think this is the first time Shuggy's ever been here. Is Shuggy in the chat?
Yes, he is.
Oh, Shuggy. I'm starting to enjoy you, bro. I'm getting your sense of humor, and I'm liking what I hear, man. You add... Wait,
Shuggy has a sense of humor?
He does, and he adds a comedic element to the Welsh News Network broadcast that is sometimes subtle and sometimes right up there in your face, and I like the way he balances those two. I'm digging you, Shuggy. All right, I can't. Oh my God, I'm having a Chilito moment. I can't tack right now. Something's wrong with me. I gotta get a video file, and I can't get to my video file. So, the only folder I can get, I will see if I can drop this in that folder, and if it'll work for me. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves as I fumble through the tech. I may have now lost my... Oh, I might have lost my video altogether. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I knew I should have loaded this stuff up before I got that song started. I did start a little early. I jumped the gun. And now I've caught myself unprepared. Unprepared.
Do you remember the task that Dan started a few days ago in regards to another channel?
The task that Dan... I do not.
Officially, I guess this week, upcoming week, Steve Miller now has to cut his hair to look like Chilito and wears Jesse Raphael glasses because we got him to 1,000 subscribers.
Wow, nice. Congratulations, Steve Miller. I am not familiar with Steve Miller. Now, oh, I found it. Okay, I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. My screen recorder app, if I put the MP4 file on the desktop, it has no icon. If I drag the file into a folder, it has an icon. You know, that's basically the first frame of the video. So when I dropped it in the folder, I could not find it. And now I've found it. All I need to do is, yes, see the icon. And thank you, everyone, for bearing with me. I should have this up in just a second here. There we go. There we go, there we go.
Oh, no, I shouldn't be.
So, Mr. Decastro took the opportunity of Kate Peter sticking up for him and basically disparaging the Welsh News Network and saying that the claims made were ridiculous, and Chilito used that opportunity to show himself in the chat room. He made a couple comments. There was a little blah blah to identify if it was really Chili or not. It turned out to be Chili, and then Chili actually agreed to come up on panel with Kate if Kate removed everyone to the back room, so it was just Chili and Kate. And then he got a little pissy when they were putting up the super chats and comments underneath. Our own Nope Wasn't Me got a comment in there. And then, of course, the last comment left hanging was Merb. So I think that's kind of fitting. I think the Merb comment may have annoyed him the most. So, oddly enough, this evening, Chili called into Kate's program. After a lot of whining and crying about, Kate making reference to Chili, with Chili objects to it almost every time and cries to the judge, who, has made it clear she doesn't really want to hear about it. So Chili chose to interact on a day where earlier today he filed a California lawsuit against Kate. And I think some other people. So the California lawsuit, I believe, is an attempt to reset, which he tried to do in the past, pulling out, trying to get the case in Boston federal court, Massachusetts federal court, dismissed, so that he could resubmit in California. And these are all, remember, Chili back in September vowed to bleed Kate dry. Motion after motion after motion was, Chili's remarks. And he He's never set out. He's never set out to seek justice. He's never set out to have a court render a decision based on facts. This is all a ploy to be a nuisance and a financial burden in order to force Kate to negotiate with him on his terms. And we know what his terms are. Take down every video that's ever mentioned Chili, or delete laws and never speak about him again in the future, and probably some desire for monetary compensation, which we saw when Irish Demon trolled Chili and said he was going to settle with Chili, and one of Chili's demand was he wanted $50,000. It's not going to fucking happen. I mean, you burned all Kate's money on legal fees, and you're going to want Kate to give you a monetary settlement? That's just fucking crazy talk. So he starts a second lawsuit in California, and then shows up today to want to negotiate a settlement with Kate. You know, Chili is not prepared for a trial. Chili never was prepared for a trial, and Chili, I think, from the beginning, thought that he was going to use the court as a cudgel to beat Kate into submission. And for all Kate's foibles and flaws, the one strength she does have is she's not given in to these threats. And I don't think she's going to. And I think when Chili does this, it's not the first time he's done it, when he does this demand for, or in this case, more of a beg, he would literally sounded like he was begging to come to a settlement agreement. He's really just announcing to the world that he's not the 20-year constitutional law scholar he claims to be, that he's lost in the courtroom setting, the courtroom dynamics, the courtroom procedure, and he's afraid. I think he showed fear tonight. Becca, you want to add anything to that?
He has offered settlements in the past, but he's not willing to negotiate. It's his way or no way.
Right.
And it's part of the settlement is for her to pay him for the rest of his life any proceeds from her channel.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Dan, anything you want to add?
I think he was actually smart going up on her stream tonight.
Dissenting opinion. Tell us why, Dan.
Because he gets to clip that stream, come across as reasonable, willing to negotiate, and compassionate. Remember, you take that one stream out of context.
Right.
Who looks like the arse?
Right.
It's not him.
I don't think he looked too good, though. I think he came off as weak and a little begging.
But to the judge, that looks like he's trying to be accommodating.
I don't know about that. It
won't work with Judge Burroughs, but the judge in California, this would work.
Okay, maybe you're right on that one. That's actually good insight, because I was seeing it more from the perspective of Judge Burroughs, who's already hip to Chili's nonsense. He's done this before. But the judge in California, that's a wild card. We don't know who that is or anything about that person. Although the past history that Chili has of, harassment, blackmail, pressure, in my opinion, and then seeking to settle, not negotiate a settlement, but to, jam terms into the other person's face. I mean, Chili, he just strikes me as a grapist. Like, he's not interested in civilly cooperating toward a mutual settlement. He wants to show you how good the cake is and then offer you a piece by smashing it in your face.
Yeah. I mean, there is no doubt that Chili is an arsehole and Kate deserves to win. Regardless of the issues between me and Kate and the channel and Kate, don't care. She still deserves to win.
Right.
All I'm saying is, if you listen to that stream, he didn't try and jam any terms. He refused to name terms. He said we should do that privately.
He did do that. You are.
It is a hit piece that he is, or someone behind him has deliberately manipulated so that it can be taken out of context.
So, do you think that he just lucked out that Kate kind of stuck up for him today? Do you think he would have done that, show up, call in, try to get Kate to agree to settle, regardless of... Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I can see where you're coming from on that. He does have delete laws clips now, our boy Colin Scott Campbell, to, cut that up and edit it so he looks better than he did look. So, yeah, there's a lot of factors in there to figure in. I think cutting that video up in the portion he was on Kate's program tonight, I think cutting that up's going to take a bit of massaging, because I don't think Chili came off as sincere or strong in that video. But I have it here and we could take a peek at it. Are we ready to look?
Yes.
Okay. If anyone wants me to pause, just say pause and I will pause and you can comment.
Can you hear me, Kate?
Oh yeah, no, it's really chilly. Sorry, now I gotta jump.
Get those people off. So look,
Yes, Your Highness.
So listen, the other day, I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but I was kind of, going off about making sure that I sue you till eternity. So, but look,
that was a good legal decision. I think that it's going to cast you in an excellent light. So I really want to commend you on that. I think
that's pure sarcasm right there, and I think that was a great response by Kate. Do you, Becca, Dan, do you think it's intentional that his camera didn't come up showing him?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
He knows he's his favorite movie, so of course his camera worked.
Right, and Chili never misses an opportunity to show his face or to look at himself. So right off the bat, I thought it was really strange that his camera wasn't showing. So is he reading off cue cards? Is there someone else in the room coaching him? When I initially heard that, what I thought in my head was he's at Condon's house. We've been talking about don't sue Chili, don't countersue Chili, countersue Condon or Jeff Lloyd. They're the fuckheads with the money. Chili went the other day and, announced that Condon was backing him in all this and was a direct result of phone calls Condon had received and remarks that Kate had made about Condon. So is Condon coaching him? Is he reading a script?
It could be, but you see, it could also be if he's using some kind of screen recorder and then trying to use StreamYards at the same time, it may be that StreamYards can't read the camera because the camera is already in use by another application.
True. Didn't think of that.
Could be.
But as for his getting assistance, I think that's more likely to be because he wears that silly 90s, Britney Spears mic that he's got now.
Right.
He has audio through one ear on that, and audio through his headphones on another ear. Those can be two completely different streams.
Right. Yeah, these are just ideas that popped in my head when I initially watched it. And I recorded it right on the spot. So this is literally the second viewing of it for me. I've only seen it one time before. Anybody else have anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay. Shuggy, there's an invite link pinned in the chat. If you want to get in on the conversation, that's fine. If you don't, no big deal, bro. It's up to
God
you.
help us all.
Well, I like Shuggy, dude.
They're handling everything really well. I've been really impressed by it, honestly.
I don't know why my camera's not working. That's pretty weird, but I really wanted to look you in the face and tell you, look, you know, you got a family. If this is what you want to do for your career, I'm gonna keep doing with my career. But
well,
really,
you don't have a career, Chili. I do. Actually,
I didn't come to joust with you or take.
Well, I know, but I care a lot about accuracy, which is why I won't co-sign people claiming that you child traffic. That was ridiculous. We can both agree that. But I just want to be accurate. You are openly bragging about being homeless.
No, hold on, Kate.
No, what I said is that it appears. It would appear.
Went by merit. You just went by merit. You said that you would shoot down that I am a child predator, which is ridiculous. But then you so easily say I have a Ponzi scheme or I've ran a Ponzi.
No, I said that you don't have a career because you don't.
No. But Kate,
wait,
that's
you were just
a second. Who the hell said he was a child predator?
Yeah, they're two different things. I was going to comment on that too. I'm glad you said something. Child trafficking is moving children. Child predator is a completely different thing. No one ever said, for you or Frauditor Reaper, no one ever said anything about being a child predator. The term grooming, I did use the term grooming.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to mean necessary for sexual exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shot down people who say that he's into child molesting or anything like that.
Yes.
Because there's no evidence of it.
I would call Chili a predator. I would not call him a predator in a sexual sense. I would call him a predator in that, you know, he is a wolf. He uses people, and he will devour people if it fits him, if it suits him. Not in a sexual sense, but in a usury sense, I would consider him a predator, both of adults and of children.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's an equal opportunist. He doesn't give a shit what their age is.
Right, exactly.
And he basically admitted it when he said he was still in contact with kids in Ironton.
Right. That is a predatory vibe. Again, not sexual, but it's easier to manipulate children than it is to manipulate adults because, you know, you're 14, 15 years old, you think you know what the fuck is going on, but you're so naive, you don't know what's going on. And that's when a person that's morally deficient, like Chili, who really is only concerned with fostering his own goals, that's a dangerous guy to be around kids. Very dangerous. So my ears perked up when he said he was talking to a dozen or so high school age children, the boys in Ironton.
And I have one thing to say. Asa makes a good point. Kids are dumb, but yet they think they know everything and don't want to take the advice of adults.
Right.
So.
Oh, especially teenagers.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm way behind in the chat. Thank you for pointing that out. Now I got to go read the chat after. Are we up to speed comment-wise? I'll get back to the video. Cool.
Bragging about being homeless. You're
said
proud
point
of
by
being
point.
homeless.
Do I have a Ponzi scheme, Kate? Is there a Ponzi scheme I'm running?
Well, I mean, that's a really pointed question that you're asking in the middle of litigation. So I'm going to decline to answer that, and we can go by the merits.
Kate, there's no.
Kate did actually correct him just before we paused. Kate didn't say he's running a Ponzi scheme. Kate said it appears to be a Ponzi scheme. And as far as wording goes, that's appears to be is an opinion, not a statement of fact. So that's why Chili dropped the whole discrimination stuff. Chili no longer has a discrimination suit. He only has a copyright infringement suit.
No. It's still got the defamation and everything in there.
Are you
It's
sure
not
about
been
Yeah, it was
Yep.
never dismissed.
Okay. Okay, so
Shiggy's
ahead.
messaging me. He's backstage.
oh.
And Kate's not the one that said he had a Ponzi scheme. Absolutely 100% had a Ponzi scheme. That was me.
But Kate did say it appears to be a Ponzi scheme.
She did.
Early on.
She can have her opinion.
I would agree. Right, that's appears to be as a statement of opinion.
Yeah.
I would agree to someone who is not financially educated, like doesn't know the detailed ins and outs of finance, cross the T's, dot the I's, a layman, so to speak, like Kate. I could see where she would see what Chili is doing as a Ponzi scheme. It looks like a Ponzi scheme. The only reason I wouldn't consider it a Ponzi scheme is the businesses are all seem to be separated. It's not a Ponzi scheme usually happens inside a single frame. So it looks like it acts like it, but to me I wouldn't call it a Ponzi scheme. But if someone with Kate's understanding referred to it as a Ponzi scheme, I really wouldn't hold that against her because it looks enough like one.
Can I ask a clarification question?
Sure.
Taking investors' money to pay back the investors of a previous scheme and continuously doing that, if it's not a Ponzi scheme, what would that be?
That's more of a robbing Peter to pay Paul. See, the term previous investment scheme, okay? When a Ponzi scheme is more like selling seats on an airplane. Mm-hmm. It's all contained inside the body of the airplane. Once you're outside of it, previous investments, I honestly think it's equally dishonest, but I honestly think you're in a situation where you're robbing Paul to pay Peter would be a more accurate
It
description.
depends. I would say it would depend whether those initial investors knew what he was up to, i.e. Condon and Lloyd.
That's true, too. That is true, too. And that's, I understand it with a little more detail because I'm in the finance world. I wouldn't call it a Ponzi scheme. A jury of Kate's peers might look at the information Kate looked at and say it's a Ponzi scheme. That's where you got to be careful with a jury. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they're going to look at it. They're going to have Kate's level, maybe a little bit better understanding of finance, but they're probably not going to have the understanding I have. So a jury of Kate's peers might look at the evidence Kate presents and says, yeah, she's right. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme.
But they don't have to say that she's right. All they have to do, remember, it's defamation,
right? Which
means all they have to do is decide that Kate did not knowingly and maliciously lie.
Right, and she did, and appears to be is not a statement of fact; it's an opinion. Shuggy, you're up, bro.
Morning, all.
How we doing, Shug?
I went to bed watching the shit show, and I'm back up listening to the shit show. It's amazing, isn't it?
Nice. Thanks for calling a shit show, bro. I appreciate that.
I don't think it is a Ponzi scheme. I think Becca said, "What's it called?" I think it's a bad idea, but that's just me.
Yeah, to me it doesn't look like a Ponzi scheme. It looks more like you're robbing Peter, your current investor, because you're not telling Peter, hey, the money you think you're investing in this new company, some of it's really going to pay off debt from an old company, which is fucking against the law and hanky. You have to disclose what you're doing with the money. So, to me, it looks like robbing Peter to pay Paul. But again, I agree. If there are 12 Beccas sitting in the box, you're fucked, because Becca sees it like a Ponzi scheme. And I think the average person would see it the same way. So, and then Dan's point, Kate didn't say it as a statement of fact. Appears to be opinion. So,
I don't know. Dan will know more than I. Well, even Kate, you will. Is there actually a legal definition of Ponzi scheme?
yeah, a Ponzi scheme is pretty well defined.
Legally defined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, a quick Google, what's a Ponzi scheme, and you'll get a 30,000-foot view just on Googling it. Like, you'll get a real high-level, low-detail view of it, kind of a summary. And if you do a little bit of digging, you'll see, like, real specific examples online of what constitutes a Ponzi scheme.
Well, didn't Bernie Madoff got jailed for a long time for his scheme? So it must have a lot of standing in court somewhere.
What Bernie Madoff was doing is exactly what a Ponzi scheme is.
Yeah.
You're right. A quick search, it says exactly what Kate's opinion of it was. It lures investors and pays profits to earlier investors with funds for more recent investors.
Right. So, see, for the Ponzi scheme, it's got to be earlier investors. What Chili did, it's not earlier investors in that Ponzi scheme. It's investors in a previous company. That's where I see it not being a Ponzi scheme.
Unless, of course, he wrote down that the Condon and Lloyd were investors in the new company, but they hadn't actually put any money in.
That would be great evidence right there. That would be fantastic evidence of a Ponzi scheme.
And did we ever see any evidence that it was different opportunities, or was it the same opportunity? I can't remember seeing any evidence from Kate that says investor A was this scheme, investor B was that scheme, or whatever. So
The initial investors are always the same.
Yeah, that I do know.
That's a good point, Dan. Where Kate drew the Ponzi scheme thing from was she had actually contacted David Condon. Way back in the beginning, before anybody really knew David Condon existed, Kate found him. Kate called him. Kate talked to him. The Coded Friends app that Chili was trying to start, Kate had questioned David Condon about Coded Friends. Now, Kate, at the time, knew that Coded Friends was in administrative suspension for non-filing of, paperwork. David Condon had responded to Kate's questions about Coded Friends, saying, "Oh no, Coded Friends isn't defunct. I still get paid from Coded Friends." That's where Kate got the Ponzi scheme idea. And it appears to be a Ponzi scheme at that point in time. It appears that if David Condon's still getting money from Coded Friends, which is Chili, and Coded Friends doesn't really exist anymore, administrative suspension, it's not generating any income to pay David Condon, so any payment David Condon is getting is coming from some other source, which Chili's involved in, right? And it's the grift that's going on YouTube.
Got it. Well, I can understand where she got that opinion from then, because I have the same opinion, and people can have their opinions.
Right, exactly. And your opinion that it's a Ponzi scheme is not an outrageous opinion. In fact, I think if you polled 100 of your peers, 9 out of 10 of them are going to come to the same conclusion that you came to. That's why Chili's got to be careful with a jury, because they're probably going to side with Kate because they might not understand exactly what a Ponzi scheme is, but they're going to understand that what Chili's doing ain't right.
Yeah.
Yep, and the burden of proof is on him, not Kate.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And
it's gonna
it has to pass that whether she knowingly and maliciously lied.
And from the proof that she has provided, she did not knowingly and maliciously lie.
Right. No, she gave. It appears to be she gave an opinion. That's all she gave. So that as far as I'm concerned, that's not defamation at all.
But is a
go ahead.
Ponzi scheme always illegal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Even
Yeah,
if all investors get paid out?
Well,
Then it's not a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, the way a Ponzi scheme works, all investors can't get paid. The last tier, a Ponzi scheme is tiered. You know, it'll be two at the top, and then those two break into two underneath. So your row 2 is 4 people, and then each row gets more and more expansive on that same break. So the bottom row, the last people in, are paying all the rows above, and the last people in always get fucked in a Ponzi scheme. They never
That is true.
They lose the entirety of their principal investment because it's paid out as soon as it comes in.
But I mean, here's another question for everybody: is Kate had broadcast a show. If you said multi-level marketing to most people, they're going to go, what? If you say Ponzi scheme, they have a rough idea what you're talking about.
Right.
At what point was Kate skipping the explanation step by using the term Ponzi scheme? And therefore you was using it in the vernacular rather than the specific.
I think that's a great question. It's a distinction with difference, not a distinction without difference. There is a difference. You nailed it. She is using it in the vernacular and not specifically. She's using the concept Ponzi scheme to explain the way a non-expert, non-specialist would explain a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is almost used metaphorically the way Kate used it, not literally.
But Dan, I think we've said this on the network before, is that a lot of the language in this and the other court case has been vernacular rather than specific.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or sarcastic.
Correct.
Like nicking the van.
To be honest, the only difference between a Ponzi scheme and a multi-marketing scheme is one's legal and one's not.
Yeah.
Their actual results are the same. They're based on the same pyramid business model that will always eventually fall over.
Right. And I don't think multi-level marketing is legal ever. I think there has been a bit of a crackdown on a lot of that stuff.
It wasn't
Mary Kay. They're starting to.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mary Kay multi-level?
Mary Kay is, Amway is. I think the old Herbalife is still around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was the same kind of, Yeah.
Walter Texas has got a very good point. He says he thinks it was Ponzi-like scheme. Maybe
I think exact words were it has all the hallmarks of a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Which is still not. That's still a metaphor. That's not a statement of fact. That's not saying this is a Ponzi scheme.
To the best of my knowledge, there is one person and one person only who's ever said what he's doing is an absolute Ponzi scheme.
Him.
That would be me. Repeatedly.
And are you? Well, I mean, it's stupid for me to ask you if you're 100% convinced of that because you don't flip shit around.
I'm 100% convinced on it.
Cool. Well, he is using the input capital of another to pay off the return of one who paid before that person. I mean, it fits. It fits. It does.
But
fit.
then I also want Chili to sue me.
Right. Well, I mean, in case I haven't said it in a while, I think he's just a low rent fucking grifter, and you know, I don't think he's ever made an honest fucking paycheck in his life, and I wish he would sue me for saying that, because I'd love to get your ass into court for 2 fucking reasons, boy. I'd love to get your books open. I'd love to get Condon and Lloyd's books open so that the people you've abused can sue your fucking masters, you little fucking dog. And the other reason I'd love to get for you to sue me is because I'll demand in-person court. And then I'll get you without any fucking effort on the extraditable warrant you have in Oregon, Ohio. So before you sue me, Chili, you better get that shit cleared up, because we're going to be present together in the fucking courtroom, and I'm going to have the bailiff in the fucking courtroom put the fucking handcuffs on you.
It's going to come to that, isn't it?
It is. It's the only way you're going to stop this little prick. Somebody's got to get him in a fucking courtroom where there's, sheriff's department people in the fucking courtroom, and then somebody's got to drop the fucking warrant on the officers, the bailiff in the courtroom, and he'll be cuffed, and he won't leave that fucking courtroom.
So, and I may have missed it. If I did, I apologize. So we know that Chili's an actor. We know that the current...
It's a matter of opinion.
Just go with the flow. We know that the current incarnation of this whole last 2 years is an act. I didn't say he was a good actor, by the way, just an actor.
His entire life is an act.
Yeah, he's playing a part. He doesn't do anything per chance. Everything is planned, I think. So what was he trying to do tonight? What was his...
Yeah, we already discussed that.
My bad, sorry.
Possibly.
No, it's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
To make Kate look bad to the California judge, possibly, because it looks like he's trying to reach out to offer a settlement to make this all go away, but we all know that it's bullshit. Because he's reached out with a settlement before, and his settlement is you do this or we don't negotiate. And there's many different possibilities.
I think we're about to come to a bit where she did ask him his terms and he wouldn't give them. So
yeah, but you see, that was clever by him.
Okay.
By not giving the terms, by saying, no, that's something we shouldn't discuss on air, he looks mature.
Mm-hmm.
He looks mature, and he looks like the one thing we all know he's not willing to do: negotiate.
Yeah, because he's not willing to negotiate.
But hang on,
right?
If he hits the court with that clip, then he gets hit with with a bigger clip. Show he's an arsehole. So, yeah, I suppose.
Shuggy,
yeah, I think with that, Shug, is it. Because of Kate's demeanor, she will not come off looking well either with all the clips, if you throw them all in. So the judge is left with 2 people who look bad. One looks deranged and psychotic, and one just looks bad.
And, I can't see...
But then she's back to her first opinion, which will be this clip.
And I can't see a judge sitting through all 2.5 hours of tonight to see why she's in a foul mood at this particular moment in time.
Yeah.
It was a shit show.
Shuggy, I think he's fucking scared. I think he's scared. I think he's desperately scrambling to negotiate a settlement because I think he's afraid to go in a fucking courtroom. He knows he's in over his head. He jumped off the high dive like a brave boy, and now he's in the deep end of the pool, and he don't know how to fucking swim.
Okay, question for the panel, and literally just I just want the answer without that explanation. Who wrote the California suit? Was it ChatGPT? Was it somebody else? Opinions, not fact opinions.
The legal panel he has that he's not put on record, so he can't get fees for. That's my opinion.
I think it was ChatGHB.
I think it was ChatGHB too, bro. I'm glad you said it GHB instead of GBT.
Sorry,
I think.
Slip of the tongue. That's what she said. I think he thought it. We know that ChatGPT has done him well to a certain extent to date. Then if he used ChatGPT, so be it. If he used his legal team, bunch of assholes. But I think he thought he had a really good suit going into California, and then Merb, who we don't like, we know, just ripped it to shreds and showed where he was, or its shortcomings. And I think he's now worried that maybe he did go a step too far.
I think that we all, the ones who don't like Merb, I think have to take a little bit of a step back here and see that in the last breakdown Merb did, or it was the one before the last. It was the one before the last. He really fucked with Chili's head.
Yeah.
Because Merb was gloating about it in the last video that he did. Merb was actually kind of gloating about it. Merb really fucked Chili up I think it was 2 videos ago.
Yeah. Dan, he did what you and Becca did the other day, but he did it from a legal perspective rather than a common sense perspective. So was slightly more polished than we were. However,
and he made it look like he was giving Chili a hint on how to make it better, and I think he fucked Chili.
There is no way to make it better.
I didn't mean to step on.
No.
Right.
I think once the court document's submitted, that's it. You're fucked.
Now, the other thing I noticed about the court document was it wasn't signed. Does that matter?
That might just be the copy they uploaded.
Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything. It has to be signed for the court clerk to accept it.
And the court clerk has accepted it and scheduled it.
Nope Wasn't Me puts a good point in the chat room. He sees Kate is not backing down, and he also knows she's done spending money on attorneys. Chili's terrified. I think you might be right there, Nope. Because Chili's Go ahead, Dan.
Chili's always terrified. Chili wakes up every day. He's terrified. He goes to sleep every night. He's terrified.
You think so? I think there are times where
he said it. He said it. Those are his words, not mine.
Oh, really? Because I think there are times where he's so fucking full of himself that he just thinks he can do no wrong.
Oh, no, he's convinced people are out to get him and going to kill him. He is absolutely paranoid and terrified. That's why he had Terry, the Ironton auditor, escorting him around Ironton with a firearm.
Yeah, and he was talking to Larry, when the conversation he had with Larry that Larry released, he straight up told Larry the FBI was going to fucking kill him.
Yeah, and wanted a gun.
And on one of his gun rants yesterday, he said that whenever he's outside California, he always has his gun with him.
Yeah, why outside California?
Because he can't have a gun in California.
But if he can't have a gun in California, he can't have a gun anywhere. But most states honor the terms of restraining orders from other states. So
that's not entirely true.
Okay.
My sister had a restraining order against her husband in Connecticut. I called for a wellness check in Florida. They said they cannot honor the restraining order from Connecticut.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good feedback.
Unfortunately, that is the way it tends to work. Not all states have reciprocal agreements.
But now,
no one agrees with California anyway.
how do you register your gun that you're in possession of?
To
At the state level.
Right. So you got to do that in your home state, right? How do you register? If you live in California and you cross the border into Nevada, how do you register your gun in Nevada? You don't. You have an unregistered firearm on you.
No.
Or you
There's
don't
reciprocal agreements for a lot of those.
Right, but he's not able to register in California, so he always has an unregistered firearm.
Yep. Which he's admitted to in the legal document.
Right. So he's breaking Mr. Law and Order, breaking the fucking law every day.
Welcome to the show, Adam McGuire. Have a good time. Sorry.
I can't
right.
see. And his latest comment about Chili doesn't have his gun in California. How the hell does Chili have a gun everywhere he goes? But when his van comes back into town, the gun's not in the car.
Well, because he lives, his house is literally half in California, half in Nevada. That would be the only fucking way you could do that, Shug. Otherwise, for some portion of time, when you cross over into California, until you get to the house you're staying at, you got an illegal weapon in your fucking car.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, fair enough. Yeah, he does have it in California, we think, but he's not allowed to have it.
Because don't forget, he gets thousands of death threats every week.
Yeah. He probably gets 3. The people who have, or 14, is it? The people who have restraining orders against them.
I mean, it's interesting, the fact in Ironton, he asked for Terry to be armed as security. I mean, Ironton was one of his first. It wasn't the first, one of the first. He hadn't pissed off that many YouTubers by that point. Very quickly afterwards, he did.
No, the gun was because he pissed off the black community on TikTok.
Absolutely, yeah. That's who he was worried about.
That's absolutely what he was afraid of when he was in Ironton.
And to quote him, he never stops.
Yeah. He never stops running that stupid fucking mouth of his. All right, let's get a little more of this short video down.
Is it silly, Chili? I mean, honestly, what have you done with your life?
Why
what
would you
have
say
you
something
accomplished?
like that?
You're a 50-year-old man.
Why would I
take?
Let me ask you a question.
Suing somebody that you don't even know. I understand what you're litigious.
You shouldn't
You're
have picked, no.
Kate,
Oh
no, I will pick a million fights with you. I'm not afraid of you, Chili. I will never be afraid.
It's not being afraid, Kate. It's your priorities. I have other things.
No, my priorities are fine. Listen, Chili, one of us is employed and one of us isn't. Okay, so if you're trying to run me out of whatever you're trying to do, it's not going to work. I have a career. You do not have a career. I have a home.
Kate,
you do not have a home. I have a vehicle that has not been stolen.
Kate, you've accused me of things that just aren't true.
I have no idea how he's going to cut this video up to make himself look good, Dan. Now
he's going to keep that bit in. That bit's brilliant for him.
I think it makes him look like a piece of shit. It tells the absolute truth. Kate is a little aggressive in it, but it's the absolute fucking truth about Chili, and Chili can't tolerate that shit.
The judge doesn't know that. See, we're all looking at it from what we know rather than from someone who doesn't know shit about either of them. Now, if you take this one clip in isolation, it doesn't work for Kate.
I'm still on the fence about that because there's nothing that was... Kate didn't say... Kate looks aggressive, but Kate didn't say anything that was untrue. So if he presents this to a judge as evidence, it just looks like fucking noise.
The problem is, Gusto, judges do watch YouTube if you submit it in your evidence. They have to. It's legally their job to.
Right. Right.
Now,
if he submits it as evidence, the judge has to look at it.
Now, if you just take this one bit with no context, with none of the history, it works for him. It's 100% wrong, but this just in isolation, it works for him.
I'm on the opposite side of the fence here, Dan. I don't think this makes him fucking look good at all. I think it makes him look like a shitbag. And not the, this is complete, what's the chili that's being presented here is the exact opposite of his day-to-day persona that he tries to put out into the world about what a fucking tough guy he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It humanizes. That's the point.
I think it does do a little bit to humanize it, but I think it also makes him look like a fucking hypocrite.
But I think more importantly, it depends how ChatGPT writes a motion as to how good or bad chili will look when he submits it.
Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even if Chili submits this, give it 10 minutes, he will do something that will completely change the judge's opinion because he'll fuck up majorly and then go off on a rant about the judge.
Right.
So if we talk about the preponderance of the evidence, which is what a court case is, okay, so this is, so far, we've got, say, let's say a point per page on that complaint to Kate. Kate's got 25 points. Chili may score 1 back here. Where does that leave the suit? You know.
Nope, it wasn't me. It's not aimed for Judge Burroughs. And you're quite right, Shuggy. But you're now assuming that Chili can look more than 1 step ahead of him. And he can't. All he ever sees is the next step he takes. He doesn't see 5 steps down the road and what the opposition will do to counter him. That's why he's so bad at this.
Well, he did this. You're absolutely right, Dan. He did this today for the judge in California, and he's completely missed the impact this is going to have on Judge Burroughs. If she dismisses that, if she holds him in contempt, and if she winds up dismissing his entire fucking complaint with prejudice, he's fucking done. He can't sue Kate again. He can't go to California and re-sue her when, you know, he lost in Massachusetts federal court. It's fucking double jeopardy.
Well, hang on a second, though. That's why Merb says the first thing, and I apologize for bringing Merb up, Dan. But what
Shuggy
said,
Shuggy, I'm a Merb fan. You could talk about Merb all you want. I fucking love Merb.
but one of the first thing Kate has to do is motion for clarity from Burroughs about where the defamation portion of the suit is, because that will then give her a steer. If the defamation bit has been dismissed with prejudice, then that's all she submits to California. She's scot-free. If it's been dismissed, I can't remember what he said, dismissed without prejudice, she needs California to take judicial notice. And if it's not been dismissed, she can't, as you say, Cody, it's double jeopardy.
Right.
I think that, unfortunately, the US system is completely fucked up. He may get away with it because one is a federal court and one is a state court.
Well, he's got
and you can sue somebody in state court and in federal court for the same crime.
But hang on a sec.
It's been done.
But I missed a step out from Merb. Merb said the first thing Kate has to do is remove herself from the state court. That immediately puts it in federal court. That was his first checkbox, so to speak. So,
right.
Forgive me, I missed that bit.
The onus is on Kate to make the California court, aware that this same issue is being handled in a federal court,
and get herself into federal court.
Yeah, Dan, I think on the double sue thing, the 2 courts, I think you can only do that if one is criminal and the other is civil.
No, they've done it both on criminal cases. The state has done it.
Okay, I'm no legal expert, so there's a
But
lot.
I'm not sure if it only works if you go to state court first, get a sentence there, and then go to federal court. Because you're suing one under state law and one under federal law.
Right.
And because they're different entities, it's not double jeopardy. It's a daft system, and I think it's stupid, but unfortunately it does work sometimes that way.
Well, I gotta look into that. Not that I don't trust what you're saying, but I need to verify that for myself.
But I only know about that from criminal cases. I don't know it from civil cases.
Right. Radius Hattis says this doesn't look good for Chili because he initiated an ex parte conversation after filing a complaint about that in his Massachusetts suit. Do you think this is an ex parte conversation?
Yes, and could definitely be considered harassment because Kate, through Wish, has specifically requested through the court that all communications from Chile go through Wish.
Right. She did invite him up, though. But yeah. he did appear in her chat first, so he kind of violating the judge, told him to stop this horse shit. Chili did show up at Kate's broadcast. Chili did volunteer himself, threw himself into the mix. It wasn't requested of him that he be there or that he participate. Although I don't think Kate will make a big deal out of this.
No.
I don't think Kate's going to say a word about it other than mock him for, begging to fucking settle.
But that's not always the best answer.
Right. And again, Nope Wasn't Me says in the chat, I agree with this 100%. If Judge Burroughs has to, address this fucking situation here, she's just going to call them both fucking kindergartners again.
But is there a way where...
I mean, this...
They're being sued on both coasts, or there's a court case on both coasts. Is there a way, and Dan, I don't know the answer to this. This is a real question, that they can ignore each other about the Massachusetts case, but because they're both pro se in California, is it then ex parte in California? Where is there a...
She's not pro se in California. She hasn't been served in California yet.
Point. We think she's going to go pro se. Let's assume for a second she is going to go pro se with her legal team, like he has a legal team. But my question is, can you split the cases and ignore each other on Massachusetts, but still engage on California? I don't know.
It gets into a very, very complex grey area.
That's slightly my point.
Yeah, he is making a fucking mess out of this shit. Let me address something wildly off topic for a minute here. Augusto Pinochet puts in the chat, just saying we need to bomb Moscow, just saying. Bro, where my emotional feelings might be with you, my question for you would be, how many fucking people do you want to see die? You can't bomb Moscow. You can't.
Well, if Putin's not in Moscow, let's just bomb Putin instead. It's easier.
Right. But, I mean, if you want to start a fucking global nuclear war, that's the quickest way to fucking do it. You want to end that bullshit in the Ukraine? Just saying, my opinion. Open a fucking Keystone pipeline and drive the price of oil down to $20 a barrel.
So it's not off topic, because if you think about it, since Bay of Pigs, or rather, actually, no, since the end of World War II, all that's kept us all safe is MAD, mutually assured destruction. Right. And that's exactly what these two are involved in, is MAD. They're determined to destroy each other, aren't they?
Yeah, but I don't. Here's the thing. I think Chile don't have no bullets. I think Chile's got he's got missile silos, but no fucking missiles.
Chile's firing blanks? No.
Yeah. I I think he's got empty missile silos, dude. What real ammunition does Chili have? It's why he's asking, crying for a settlement right now. I think he bucked up. I think he bucked up and pretended to be a rooster, and it's turning out he's a Cornish hen.
Coded, did you watch all of this stream?
With Kate? Yes, I did.
So then you saw where I had to do something that still sticks in my throat and I hate. I had to say Merb was right.
You didn't. I missed that bit.
I did. I sent a super chat saying Merb was right on this one point.
How much whiskey do you have at the time?
Not enough for it to be a viable excuse.
See, he didn't have to choke it down. That's why he didn't have a lot of whiskey. If he had a little more whiskey in him, he probably would have chuckled about it and let it go. He's a little too sober to not have that gulp moment.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean, what was Kate thinking, honestly? Okay, I understand having Felipe out there because he's the one being sued by Chile. It's relevant. To have...
Is he actually being sued?
Yeah, I think...
Allegedly. Or it's about... Or Chile is threatening to sue. Let me put it that way. And then they have Grant, whatever his name was, up as well. And it just turned into... I don't know. It was just odd. Very odd strategy from Kate, I must admit.
Letting him up was cat playing with a mouse, Shuggy. She couldn't avoid it. She probably shouldn't have had him up, but I don't think there was any real damage done here. But it's cat it's cat playing with a mouse. Kate, Kate knows she owns Chili right now. She never gonna give in to him.
Yeah, but hang on. Talking about Felipe and the other guy, I think that's done Kate an awful lot of damage personally. But
you think so? Because I think Felipe and the other guy looked like fucking buffoons.
Yeah, but they were supposed to be supporting Kate.
Yeah.
I get why she had them up there. She had them up there for the same reason we wanted Felipe up, which was to talk about his working relationship with Chile when they both worked for Photography Is Not a Crime.
Right. Which it turns out Chile never really worked for it.
Well, we don't know.
We couldn't hear.
They were claiming that he didn't.
Yeah, but then you also had the person who was supposedly the owner of the thing saying they were full of shit and lying. And
if it was, yeah, that wasn't a sock account, but yeah.
Because that's what Merb went up about, was to point out we didn't know whether the two guys on screen were lying or whether the guy in the chat was lying.
Right. Merb really squeezed right in there and fucking summed everything up in like 2 sentences. And I was like, all right, see you later. Yeah, but I like Merb, man. Really like the Merb. All right, I'm getting bitched at in the chat room for not playing the video. So let's roll a little more of this beautiful bean footage.
I deny that. I deny that unilaterally. And I show proof of everything.
If I be quiet for 10 seconds and listen, then will you give me 10 seconds?
I don't have to give you anything, Chili. You're on my panel.
So then,
this is more people than view you, right? I have 731 people.
Kate.
You don't know what that feels like.
Kate,
I'm giving you an opportunity right now.
All right.
I'm giving you the opportunity.
Okay,
you won't get
give me
this
10
on your
seconds?
own.
Do you want?
10 seconds.
Okay, cool. Then I just want to talk civilly to you. So look. You said some things that were legally where I would take action. So the thing is, though, is I do have my own mission, whether you want to.
That was 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
And then you have things you're doing with your life. And if this is what you want to do and this is what gets you fame and popularity, then cool. Then I'll be happy to be the person who sues you the rest of your life. But I don't want to do that. I want to
say that again.
I want to move on with my life because you've defamed me and you've done
I deny that.
In my perspective, just to be fair, because I said I want to have a civil conversation. In my perspective, you've done things for me to take legal action. So, but this isn't what I want to do with my life.
That doesn't seem to be the general consensus.
If you put up little things, if you put up little comments here, I'll leave. So you remove those or I'll just go. It's up to you. I'm not trying to.
You're not doing me or you any favors.
I'm not trying to take on you and your little posse. I'm just trying to talk to you like a person. I'm sorry my camera's not working. I don't know why that is. It's really weird. But
no apology needed for that.
No, but anyway, is that better? No, it's still the same thing. Anyway, so listen, I just said I really would rather just settle with you and be done with this and have some basic stipulations between the two of us, and you go back to trolling people and doing what you want, and you don't have to bend everybody else's pocketbook and your own, and we can just move on.
I don't need to do that regardless at this point, Chili.
Well, all right, cool. But I was big enough to come here. A lot of people say a lot of things. I'm willing to settle with you, and you can walk away from this. And
can I ask you a pointed question? When did you first? No, honestly, I want to know a little bit more about you because I think that I haven't. When did you first develop your disdain for the First Amendment and freedom of speech?
Good question.
Oh, she fucking totally caught him off guard. He was not expecting that. You're right, Shuggy. It was a good question. I don't think Chili's coming off good here. Chili is the one. Chili brought the lawsuit, and now Chili's saying it's a waste of time, money, and resources. So who's being bled? Chili bled himself. It's not even costing Chili that much. And Chili's reaching the point where he thinks this whole fucking thing that he started is just a big waste of time. And that's where he's negotiating from. This is all a big waste of time after he announced that his goal was to just waste time, money, and resources. I think his plan backfired.
Has it?
Yeah, I think pretty much.
See, if you think, I think you're right, that his stated goal before he filed in Massachusetts was just to bleed Kate dry.
Mm-hmm.
Then the plan would have worked, except the fact that Kate crowdfunded her bill.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Shug, 1 second. Sorry to interrupt you. Little golf clap for the beautiful fucking community we have that stepped up, because if the people who listen to Kate didn't step up and fund this on Kate's behalf, Chili would have bled her dry. Chili would have forced her to give in.
But,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Shug.
No, you're fine. So therefore, in Massachusetts, forget California for the moment, but in Massachusetts, his stated goal was to bleed her dry. He's actually, crowdfunding aside, he's actually achieved his aim in a funny way, which is quite scary.
You think he's achieved his aim?
No, but you can look at it that way.
I don't think you can, because Kate now, with the money she received, gained experience to the point where I think she thinks she could fucking do this by herself and go pro se. I mean, I think she's gained enough experience in the past few months that she said, hey, fuck, this idiot is doing this. I can do a better job than he can do. And she probably, with a little assistance from the legal guys on YouTube, a little advice here and there, she probably could smash the fucking teeth out of him. Let me fire this video up again, because we don't have much left to cover, and I'm getting shit in the chat room.
I didn't come here to do an interview with you. And you're
or was it like in childhood?
I'm going to teach constitutional law scholar in the next few weeks, and but I just want
you're going to teach constitutional law scholar.
So if the people here, if there's any rational people, I came here to settle with you. I came here to end this nonsense. This is silly.
You don't settle on a YouTube live stream. What kind
you
of
do
bizarro
actually.
world do you live in?
You do. And so you have things to do. Listen, you do have kids that you should put your money and time into.
I do put my money and time.
No, this takes
you haven't touched it.
So for
it
everybody,
doesn't take a lot of
for
my
everybody
time.
listening,
It doesn't take a lot of my time.
No, for everybody listening who's rational, this takes an enormous amount of time.
For you, maybe not for me.
Well, okay. Well, for any
I don't feel
has
the
a
need to
rational brain
file
in their
a
head, when
flurry
someone
of
is suing you-
vexatious and frivolous motions, so it doesn't take nearly as much time out of my life as it does out of yours. Right now you're at the disadvantage. You are accomplishing nothing but suing me and talking about suing me. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I can shut this off and go back to my life. I spend, about 60 hours a week working and caring for my children. I go out with my friends. I even stream myself going out with my friends. I don't see you going out with friends. You're not living life. You're obsessing. I am not that important, Chili. I should not own this much. You are. You talk about me nonstop.
I'll let you talk. There's
nonstop,
no point in being like,
I own so much space in your head, and
I came on your show to talk to you.
I feel like you should let it go for your own benefit at this point. Honestly, it's not doing you any favors. You get very upset. The veins bulge in your head as you're talking about me, screaming. You said that you had nightmares about murdering me. Like, nobody should feel that way, Chili. You should never let it get that deep. You need to develop some restraint. Some self-control. You're what, 50 years old? Half a decade, sir. These are life skills that most people can develop, and I believe in you. I know that you can.
I came here to settle with you, Kate. If you don't want to,
you got to put down.
If you don't want to settle, that's cool. But
you don't settle on a live stream. You have brought this to court, Chili. You have to continue to embarrass yourself in court now. That's what you committed to.
Kate, I just listened to you talk for like a minute. I didn't interrupt once. So just let me say something. Let the people, however many people who are actually here listening, let them listen to a conversation. So what I'm saying is, we have opinions about each other. I don't see you I don't see you in a very positive light. You don't see me in a positive light. That's fine. But what you have a channel that you started years ago doing what you're doing. And that's cool. If that's what you want to do, then you do it. And I'll move on and you can move on. You keep doing what you're doing to all these people who are victims, and we'll put up with it. But I'm just coming here to walk away from this, both you and I. And let you just go on and focus, because this does take a lot of time and a lot of energy. And
I agree.
So it's just silly. You can other things you can do with your time and your money. And I wish you the best in life, but I tell you, I came here like a man. I tried to speak time. I tried to speak rationally with you. Anybody who heard this that has any rational in their brain is like, this is stupid. I have some basic stipulations we can work out in private, and we can both walk away from this. There's no point in this. This money is wasted. This time is wasted. We both have other things we'd really like to do. So
what are your terms, Chili?
Let's work out our terms in private. If we're gonna, this is the first time I saw this going on your channel, and I thought, we've never actually just said, what are the terms to settlement here, and can we just sit down?
So let's do it right now. Actually.
No, I want to do it privately so that you're not putting silly things up on your screen, and it's just, look, I reached across the bow, and that's what I did. So. Anyway, listen, I won't take up the rest of your time. I know you're running a live stream and you got super chats to read, so I hope you did well tonight. Right?
God bless you, Chili.
You guys take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Who's laughing? Is that Sugar or Dad?
It's Dan.
It's Dad. What's so funny, bro?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just picking on Shuggy because it's fun.
Hey, Shug, I'm glad you came up today, man. You're welcome here anytime, bro. Even if the rest of the team's not around, you can come in anytime you want to. So I think the chat and the listeners, hands down, think Chili's just a fake fucking piece of shit. And as many people have said, scared bitch. I think he is scared. I think he knows he's failing fucking miserably. I think he knows he shot a hole in his own fucking boat. And I think he's up to his eyeballs in fucking water, bailing as hard as he can, and he's not getting anywhere.
I think if he came up on panel to talk about a settlement, he should have at least given the settlement terms instead of saying, let's talk in private.
I think he was kind of smart to just offer the invite there rather than hash it out, because he's not going to negotiate. He's just going to make demands, and that, one, will make him look like a shitty person, and two, Kate will fucking destroy him if he starts trying to manhandle her. because he's already done that in the past, and she gets the better of him every fucking time. So yeah, I think tactically it was an okay move on Chili's part. I don't think it was the smartest thing to do. Someone had posted in the chat here that I missed it. Kate's chat goes so fucking fast. I have no idea how you guys even read that shit. But somebody put in the chat here that at Kate's broadcast, Chili requested to go up.
He did.
Before the offer was made by Kate. So, I think it is ex parte communication, and I think he did kind of violate the judge's order, which was what Chili wanted to begin with, that the two of them don't talk to each other. And this is not the first time Kate's been over at, or Chili's been over at Kate's broadcast since the judge told him to stop the fucking nonsense.
But if both sides are guilty of the same thing, does that not cancel it out? So therefore, it's from a legal contempt perspective,
it's never going to come to anything disciplinarily because it happened on Kate's platform, and Kate's not going to make an issue out of it. If it was Kate that went to Chili's platform and did the same thing, we need to talk about settling this, Chili would write 6 fucking motions the next fucking day. So I think because of the way it happened, it's not going to amount to anything from a disciplinary standpoint.
And plus, ex parte communication only involves them talking to the court without involving the other side. It doesn't involve talking to the other party.
That's true, too. But it does it violates Chili's original request that Kate stop talking about him, and then he puts himself in a situation where Kate is talking to him. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a guy who's claimed on several occasions that he's afraid of Kate and tried to get a restraining order against her. But he keeps showing up, trying to talk.
And that's why this whole thing is a slight joke from a legal perspective. In that,
yeah,
they just sabotage each other and themselves at every single turn.
I agree. Chili more often than Kate, but
Correct.
Kate doesn't always respond in her best interest.
And guess who's laughing all the way to, not the bank, but pretty much, is Josh Abrams.
Probably. I think the two attorneys, Kate's attorney and Josh's attorney, are fucking laughing while they pile up their fucking money. I mean, these kind of interactions between Kate and Chili, even if it's Chili going to Kate, the mere fact that Kate's talking to him causes potential fucking legal paperwork to have to get fucking submitted. And then that costs Kate... I mean, Benjamin Wish writes a fucking page of paper, and it's what, $5,000?
Looks like that.
I mean, yeah, that's the way she's getting fucking billed. I mean, you got to make smarter financial decisions. All this shit costs a lot of fucking money. Mm-hmm. And that's what Chili was banking on from the get-go, that Kate wouldn't be able to afford to mount a proper defense.
And then as per normal, he's doubled down on stupid.
Yeah. I mean, Chili to me looks like an NFL football player that showed up on a Pop Warner field and wanted to fucking, go 100 with fucking, little fucking kids in football uniforms. I mean, this whole thing strikes me as that. I think Chili thought Kate was a fucking soft target. I think he thought he was going to be able to intimidate her. not only because he's bigger than her, but because it's the whole fucking male-female dynamic, and Chili just thought a little bit of barking and Kate would instantly back down. I think Chili really got caught with his fucking pants at his ankles here.
I don't know what the other two think, but I think the one thing that he didn't bank on was Kate crowdfunding 60 grand.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't count on that at all. Wasn't even in the fucking realm of possibilities. Like, Chili didn't have an outlier set of data that said, what if, worst case scenario, and then filled in the blank with, she's able to raise money for a legal defense. I mean, how you can put a fucking strategy together and not account for that one, even if it's got the odds of winning the lottery against it, you still got to make a fucking plan in case it happens. He really thought that she was just going to be like, oh, I can't afford a lawyer, and was going to say, all right, I'll take down all my videos about you.
And the fact that he uses a non-legal legal team. He must have thought that she could put her hands on similar type of people, even if it is Merv.
Yeah, I don't think he counted on that. That's how, I mean, Chili does some dumb fucking shit. And, you know, there are times where you think it looks like he has a plan, but then by the next day, you're like, what the fuck? This is a monkey throwing darts at a fucking wall. And he did initially think the first fundraiser was fake.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think Chili got his bluff called, and he's fucked. Let me bring Mr. Caruso into the mix. Anthony, unmute your mic if you... There you go.
Here we are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
How we all doing down under? You know Becca, Shuggy, and Dan, I hope. I know you know Dan. Do you know Shuggy and Becca?
Yep.
I do.
Vaguely.
Cool.
Yep.
And if you mention emus, the bets are off.
What? Hey, did you ever show the video of the Great Emu War?
Yes.
No,
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did? I got to go back and fucking find that now.
Not only did Dan
It's
show
on
video,
the
he actually gave
Terrington the Ironton Order interview one.
I thought I might, for a little bit of a.
It's in the title, right? I thought I watched that.
Yeah.
Whole thing. Sorry, Anthony.
No, I was going to say I thought I might surprise everyone by giving everyone a quick glimpse of who I am, if you so wish.
Oh shit!
Yeah, go ahead if you want to.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is a bit of a surprise, but here I am, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know.
You could have bloody shaved for coming on stream.
Yeah, I know. I've been a little bit busy, unfortunately, and actually, no, I don't shave because I've got cricket tomorrow, and I never shave for a cricket game.
You still don't look Italian, Anthony, and you don't now.
I don't look Italian.
Nah, I don't think you do. Becca, what do you think? You look Italian?
Yeah, he looks Italian.
Really?
He looks like a bloody convict to me.
Convict.
I sound like a
What
convict, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I think you look a little on the Greek side there, bro.
Che cazzo merda.
Say that again.
Che cazzo. No, I actually, what I should be saying, ascolta qui piccola merda, which is Italian for listen here, little shit.
Okay, I get you now.
Okay.
All right, I'll switch it off before Right On gets any ideas. So, but I thought I'd be surprised.
You know why I said Greek, right? It was to
Why
get
that?
you to, because I knew you would speak Italian right away if I accused you of being Greek. The only thing you got left to do is show that you could speak the language. You look like an Italian boy.
Yeah.
You look
I
like,
hope so.
yeah, dude. You look like half the Italian kids I ran around with as a kid. How old are you, Anthony?
Mate, I'm in my mid-30s.
Ah, good on you, bro. You look pretty fucking young, man.
I credit the copious amounts of olive oil that I've consumed in my lifetime.
That'll do it, dude. At
Consumed
55,
or used?
Why not both?
What was Shuggy?
Consumed or used. And I was suggesting why not both?
So cricket. So what's this game you speak of? Cricket. What's this stupid game?
You know, a game for idiots, 22 idiots on a field who spend all day playing, and then when in the middle of it, when they get too tired, they decide to have a break for some tea.
Do they have tea in the middle of cricket? Fucking say it ain't so, Joe.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a tea break.
I always thought cricket was essentially baseball, but they made the bat flat to make it easier for you guys.
Now, hang on a second. I mean, I'll take this one. So, if you think about it, baseball is just an excuse to go to the ballpark, drink beer, eat hot dogs, and watch people, right? And you guys think you've sussed it with 9 innings. Well, not a bad effort. Not a bad effort. But cricket wins. Because cricket is exactly the same. You go to a cricket match to drink alcohol, eat something, and watch people. And a test match lasts 5 days. I think cricket has you beat.
Yeah, but you see the difference. You may think that, and I can understand why you would think that. But in America, we go to work every day.
Debatable.
What? Bro, I went to work every fucking day till I decided I was done going to fucking work every day.
It's the world has changed now, Coda, and the reason why the world has changed now is that you can actually go to a cricket game and actually do your work while you're watching the cricket game, get drunk, watch people, and eat. Technology.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
I actually had the pleasure a couple of weeks ago, Shuggy, of going to a Sheffield Shield match that was happening at North Sydney Oval between New South Wales and Victoria. And there were a few of the Australian players coming back to play for New South Wales, which was absolutely awesome. And the best part about it is that you actually, because of the way the ground is laid out, you could pretty much go up and have a chat with them anytime you want while they're just sitting there watching the game go.
And?
No, it's just something a little bit different. So, you know, the accessibility to those players, it's something you wouldn't get in baseball, for example.
That's true.
But
wait. The accessibility of the players is something you wouldn't get in baseball. Do they come up in the stands and drink your tea with you?
They have in the past, yes.
Ah, cool. Okay, I respect that. Especially if it's going on for 5 days. They better sit down and eat with some of the fans.
Absolutely, but we digress. I had been following a little. Let's get back to sort of the main area that we've been talking about here. I had been following a little bit of the situation, and I noted as well obviously with the case the new case that has come up that Chile has filed in California. Unless I'm very much mistaken. But what I found fascinating is that he's now got 2 slander cases against Kate Peter, both of them in states with anti-slap laws.
And the slander cases are Massachusetts and California?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me pause. Anthony, sorry. Let me pause here for 1 second. Nightman's wife posted in the chat. I don't know if this is true or not. Not saying Nightman's. Okay, Becca has confirmed. Team Skeptic's son was in a pretty serious car accident. Thankfully, he was not seriously injured. So make sure you swing by Team Skeptic today. If you see him live, give him some well wishes. Please, whether you're a praying person or not, say a little prayer for Team Skeptic's son today. And just a little well wish for him. Best of luck, Team Skeptic, to you, your family. I hope you get through this quick and easy, and it's not a major setback for your son. I know what a bad car accident's like. I wouldn't fucking wish it on anyone.
Absolutely.
And Team knows it very well as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys seen my head wound?
No.
You got a head wound?
Oh, fuck. Wait till you see this.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
2 years ago, I had a horrible car accident. This picture I took while in the emergency room, while the doctor's assistant was cleaning up the wound. If you're squeamish, look away. I'll tell you when the picture is down. It's most of the blood is all cleaned up, but the gash is pretty fucking nasty. So here we go. You get a little look at my beautiful blue eyes in this one. There it is. That is forehead versus concrete abutment in the center highway of the 75 through downtown Atlanta 2 years ago.
Are you sure you weren't trying to replicate the lightning bolt scar on Harry Potter's forehead?
Every one of my... Is there... I don't know any Harry Potter. There's a lightning bolt scar on his forehead. Every one of my college roommates that saw this picture were straight up Inglorious Bastards. They're like, that's...
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, that was fucking horrible. I have no recollection of what happened to me. Someone struck. There was an accident blocking 4 or 5 lanes of traffic. I was slowing down, because you couldn't drive through the vehicles that were blocking everything up. As I was slowing down, someone barely clipped my front fender. I was actually debating whether to bother pulling over or not, but then I saw that the person who clipped me pulled over. I didn't want to get involved in the fucking hit and run nonsense. If they kept going, I would have kept going. But they pulled over, so I pulled over as I was getting out of a 1998 Jeep Wrangler Sport 5-speed. I was rear-ended by a Honda Civic doing at least 100 miles. I had to be going 90 to 100 miles an hour because it hit my Jeep so hard it shoved the rear axle all the way up under the front seat. I went fucking Superman flying, and that's the last thing I remember. When I came to, regained consciousness, I was strapped to a spine board in the back of an ambulance, and I asked the EMT driver what the fuck was going on, and she said to me, "You tell us. You were walking around in the highway talking to people when we got here." I have no recollection of any of that. I had a pair of jeans on at the time with long underwear underneath. It was December 14th of 2020. I had 17 days to go, and 2020 would have been a phenomenal year. This little mishap kind of fucked that shit up. My pants are... It looks like a rat chewed a hole in my pants from mid-thigh all the way down to mid-calf on the right side. And my sweatshirt that I was wearing in the back between the shoulder blades looks like a rat chewed a giant circle out of it. So I don't know if I hit my head first, then slid down the road, or slid down the road and then hit my head. I have no fucking idea.
Well, your hands tell the tale, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I got a 6-figure settlement, and I would give every penny of that fucking money back not to have had that car accident. So, not to... I apologize a little bit to Team Skeptic there, because I made that about me. I hope your son is doing well, Team Skeptic. I know what it's like to be in that situation. I wouldn't fucking wish it on anyone.
All that from a Honda Civic.
Yeah, ran into the back of me, sent me flying. I just happened to have the Jeep door open and was stepping out of the Jeep when the Honda Civic ran into the back of me.
That's shit. Sorry to hear.
That's all right. It's not the... That's the third Jeep I've actually... That one... No, that Jeep did flip. I got thrown, and the impact, actually, the way the car went underneath it, it rolled the Jeep over. because I remember I had a winching fee on the fucking tow truck bill. That's the third Jeep I've been in two. One I flipped end over, and the other one I got rear-ended. And it was a Jeep Cherokee. I rolled it sideways down the side of the highway. So I've been.
You don't get on well with that well with Jeeps, do you?
That's what, and I keep buying Jeeps, and everybody says to me, "Why do you keep buying Jeeps? You keep flipping them." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I survive."
Chrysler must absolutely love you.
Yeah. Well, dude, I've been a Jeep driver since the '80s. My first Jeep was a CJ7. I miss them fuckers.
The majority of the Chrysler range down here in Australia has really struggled to take off for a long time because the engines keep overheating down here.
Really?
Yeah, especially the Grand Voyagers. No one will touch a Grand Voyager in Australia now because you can be guaranteed as soon as you start driving in the heat in Australia, that engine overheats.
Well, how fucking hot is it down there?
Oh, it can get pretty hot. It can hit mid to late 30 degrees Celsius. Like we're talking around 100 Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is hot to run. I've noticed when it's about 90, 95 degrees. When it's about 95 degrees, my Jeep runs pretty close to too hot. Not quite, but pretty close.
Wouldn't have that problem up in up in the far north, up around Scotland or Wales. I'd imagine there'd be no issues with heat.
Probably not. Dan drives a Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, I do.
And
that's my daily.
Yeah, and a Hush Hush Ashton Martin.
Okay. Hang on. Which one?
DB9.
Oh, stop it.
Are you fucking jealous, bro? That is a car that'll make your fucking mouth water. Becca wants to drive it really bad, but Dan keeps telling her not.
Nope. Never happening.
That is a gorgeous car. I play a little bit of Gran Turismo 7, and one of my favorite cars on there is the DB9R. The one that they've raced at Le Mans, but the one I use is the one that you remember the one they did about 5-6 years ago. They did in the Golf colors.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
It was. It's a very nice car.
No, my I will have a quiet brag. My father's weapon of choice right now is I think it's the 2019 Alfa Giulia Quattrofoglio, which is the one that comes with the Ferrari tuned 3.6 liter twin turbo V6.
Hang on a second. Mm-hmm. Does it have four wheels?
Yes, it does.
Does it have an engine?
Yes.
That's what I need to know.
Oh, shut up, Volvo driver.
I was just gonna ask, what the fuck does Shuggy drive? You strike me as a Volvo guy, Shuggy.
Fucking big Volvo.
Dude, the Volvo's a fucking tank, man. You could drive that shit through a brick wall and still go on.
Why do you think? Yeah, why do you think in Australia we say that you don't trust anyone that drives a Volvo because you know that they've only bought it to protect themselves?
Funnily enough, we bought it because it was a 7-seater. It had good towing perspective, and it was the right price.
Oh, you got the Volvo wagon. There are quite a few of those running around here. They're not bad cars, man. I like them.
I got the XC90. I love it.
Yeah. Well, they're snow cars, man. They're literally made for a snow environment.
Welcome to Scotland.
Yeah,
exactly. And I tell you what, credit to Volvo. You would never feel like you're in danger in one because anything that gets hit by a Volvo or hits a Volvo, it's the other car that or object that gets destroyed.
Yeah,
that thing is not moving.
And we've had a couple of weeks here where it's been really bad snow, and the Volvo just keeps on going. It's good.
Yeah, I remember when they were racing those old I think it was the Volvo S40 back in the British touring cars. Seeing all these little cars and this big massive Volvo comes out. It was actually quite competitive.
Because it takes anything.
Takes a BMW trying to sideswipe it.
Mm-hmm. Ask James May and Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, it's a shame they're not on TV anymore.
Walter Texas likes the Alphas. I'm a fan
Good
of
man.
the Alphas. You don't
Good
see a lot of
man.
them. At least over
Best
here. You
Alpha
don't see
though
them.
has to be the Alpha 159.
Yeah, we used to have one of those. They were beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
What engine did you have?
Had the 2.5 liter.
Ooh, nice.
It
was the three they used in the bomb.
The 3 liter was a good one. The 3 liter was a good engine. Now the bonkers, what was absolutely bonkers, and Coded, you could probably speak to this a little bit, was when Alfa Romeo brought out the 147 GTA. You remember how small the 147 is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick a 3.2 liter V6 in it.
Yeah. Dude, we had, when I was a kid growing up, there was a 1/4-mile track that was about a half an hour from my hometown. And, you know, all the fucking seniors every year in high school would somebody would have a fucking souped up car and they would bring it down there, and, you know, the senior class would go and fucking support the boy while he ran his car. One of my fucking mates in my senior year put an 8-cylinder engine in a fucking Chevy Vega.
Oh, Jesus.
And ran it on that track several times successfully, and then crashed it and totaled the fucking thing. Way too much engine for that fucking car. But you can get an 8-cylinder engine in a fucking Chevy Vega.
I'm surprised you couldn't. I'm surprised you didn't blow the gearbox up.
Yeah, well, that might be why I fucking wiped it out in the end.
You're driving along, you're pelting along, and all of a sudden you end up with a gearbox in neutrals, and before you know it, you see bits of your clutch spraying everywhere on the floor.
Right. And there isn't much control after that. Well, kids, it is 8 o'clock. We've been doing this for just shy of 2 hours, and I have to go to work again tomorrow, so I think I'm going to load up our outro tune. Mr. Caruso, thank you for joining us. Shuggy, glad to have you here. Come back and join us anytime. Mr. Welsh, as always, you are welcome to be here. Becca, first time. Thank you, love. Next week, pick a day, time, whatever you want. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll do a little interview if you like to.
Whatever day the boss gives me off.
Cool. You let me know when he gives you a day off.
That was a burn.
Day off? Staff don't get days off.
I thought you gave him 1 day a week off, slave driver.
They had 1 day this week.
Yeah, that's what I mean, each week. I'm talking next week.
No.
We're off Sunday for the Super Bowl.
No, we're not.
You are, you know. Oh.
No, we're not. We are on Sunday.
Are you? What time? 6:30? Nobody's going to be watching you, bro.
I'll bet you we'll have a decent audience.
Okay. We'll see. It's Philly versus San Francisco, so pretty big fan base for both teams.
It is?
It's not like it's a team anyone cares about.
I thought it was the Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Oh, it is the Chiefs. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, both teams have good followings. What do you mean, Shuggy? You don't know much about American football, huh?
Not much. It's been to a couple of Titans games.
Yeah, I got you. All right, kids, we are ready to go. I came in with the Black Crowes covering Deal, which I thought was apropos. So let's go out with the Black Crowes covering the band Jemima Surrender. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
God damn. Flame. Jemima, surrender. I'm gonna give it to you, ain't no pretender gonna ride in my canoe. If I was working in a girly show, tell you what I do. I'd like to go on, tear my shirt and let my river flow. Oh yeah, sweet Jemima, won't you come out tonight? The body's so warm and the music's so right. Jemima, surrender. That's all you have to do. I'll bring over my feather and I'll play all night for you. There's a bird on my head and his mouth don't talk. Don't talk. He laughs just like a goose, but he looks just like a hawk. Oh, yeah. Sweet Jemima, you know what I'm saying. Meet me out front and we'll fly away. You can take your man, you can take your woman, you can take your left, but it's all the same. You can try to get out, you can wanna get in, you can jump and shout, but can't you see, girl, that I'm bound to win? Jemima, surrender. That's all you have to do. Ain't no pretender gonna see my tattoo and be right and hand me a line. That's what you always do. We don't do much fishing or drinking any wine. Oh yeah, sweet Jemima, if I was a king, I'd fix it all up with a diamond ring. Yeah.
Good night, good morning, Coded Friend .001 listeners. Thank you for joining us today. Please do not forget to keep Team Skeptic and his son in your prayers. And if you happen to see Skeptic today, show him a little extra love. It's a hard thing to go through. All right, we'll see you when we see you. Later for you.